as snow in the upper levels of the atmosphere where it's cold, all the way down to the ground. When it's cold from the top layer to the bottom, it's all snow. But then you get what we call this warm nose that kind of nudges in here, and that creates some sleet, some ice, and yes, some grapple. It kind of feels like pea-sized styrofoam, or it's even called tapioca snow. So that's what we're looking at with seen through other areas around the region this morning with that warm nose. It's kind of changing some of that over, refreezes once it hits the ground because ground temperatures are all below freezing throughout the entire region. And we've seen some pretty decent snowfall totals. We're still holding on to some of these snow totals. Meteorologist Ashley Kramlich right now talking about how much we're still expecting and how much we've already seen so far. Ash, good morning.
Yes, Justin, we've been tracking this all morning long. We are still expecting the potentially around 2 to 4 inches along the 95 corridor, although we are seeing more sleet mixing in, so we probably will not hit the higher amount. So we probably will not hit that 4-inch range. We are watching this. It's going to be changing over potentially back into some snow. In terms of how much snow we've seen so far, we've seen about 5 inches in Manchester. That's where Megan Gillen has been this morning. 3 inches in Frederick. New Windsor seeing about 3 inches as well. The DC area about a ½ inch. And then here in Baltimore City, only a trace of an inch. Let's go ahead and send it out to Megan Gillen, who's live in Carroll County, where snow started coming down early and it came down quickly. And you're still seeing snow, Megan.
Yeah, Ashley, oh my gosh, this is crazy. We are trying to get the car revved up, heated up, and to no avail. Every time I try to think that we've got a break in the system here, look at this. I brushed it all off. Now we've got some ice underneath all of this. This is a really good glimpse of now what we're seeing on the car out here. That sheet of ice here. And Luke, my photographer, pointed out, look at my hat. We've got ice over there. So the big, pretty snow turns over to ice. Then it goes back to the big, pretty snow. Then back to the ice here. And I have tried 3-4 times to clean off the car and just to no avail. So we're trying, Ashley, to get out here, clean off the car here. Unofficial totals, you said the 5 inches. I can verify that for you. Take a look at this. I do have the measuring stick, the only spot of my driveway that's untouched over here. And we're going to take a look. All right, Ashley, confirmation, 5 inches of snow here in Manchester, Maryland. We'll send it back to you guys.
Well, we are looking live at the roads in Harford County from the Chevy Storm Tracker. Coming up, County Executive Barry Glassman will join us live with an update on how his county's crews are battling the storm. Plus, Traffic Jam Jimmy roaming the area, tracking road conditions. That looks like that's not a fun place to be right now. We're going to check in with him just a minute, see how he's feeling out there. 7:42 is the time.
See you. 7:45, taking a live look now from Harford County from our Chevy Storm Tracker. You see these secondary roads right here. Yeah, it really doesn't matter if there was brine or salt or anything because it's still a layer of slushy, just ice. And you see the wind blowing that too, making it worse. Well, area leaders continue monitoring snow totals and road conditions as another round moves through the state. Joining us now, Harford County Executive Barry Glassman. And Executive, thank you so much for clearing out your driveway and making it down to your office for us.
Well, actually, I didn't make it to the office this morning. I'm actually at home. So I got up around 5 and we had a couple of inches of snow and then turned to sleet around 6 o'clock. So it's pretty slick out there. I haven't made it over to the office.
Okay, well, that makes sense, though, because Harford County was one of the first jurisdictions to say we're canceling school. They did that yesterday, a traditional snow day in Harford County, which is good now when you start looking outside. However, we are hearing from other leaders, though, they're starting to get a little nervous about their winter budgets, especially for treating roads and all the salt and the brine. How are you doing in Harford County?
We're doing pretty good. I had budgeted over $2 million in addition to purchasing about 20,000 tons of salt. So we're in pretty good shape right now. I think after this one, and it looks like other than salt and it's a daytime event, I always worry about when events happen on the weekends or holidays, they cost me about twice as much more. But today looks like a pretty straight event. We called out all my crews around 3 a.m. to start salting and preparing. And so right now we're just going to dump a lot of salt. It looks like for us it's going to be a sleet event. I would urge folks not to be lured into thinking that we kind of dodged a bullet and we don't have a lot of road problems because the roads are slick.
And we've been showing some live shots, actually. We have Rachel Aragon, who's up in Harford County. She's been showing us different areas. And when you see the wind blow, that's the other thing, because there's a lot of snow drifts that can happen even after the snow stops afternoon.
Well, when I was out this morning, it is slick. It's a slick type of snow, and then with the sleet mixed in with it, it can be deceiving. So I know my tractor was hard to move in a couple of areas because underneath from some of the melting that we had over the last couple of days, there is a slick portion of ice.
Okay, yeah, and hardly anybody out on the roads there in Harford County, so they're adhering to the advice, and you yourself staying home to check in with us. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Okay, take care, Tom. Be safe.
Harford County Executive Barry Glassman. Now we want to get another check with Justin in the forecast. And Justin, you've been talking about the multiple waves of different precipitation coming through. So we're in a lull in certain areas where others are getting snow. Yeah,
exactly right, Tom. And that's what we're going to see kind of off and on for the next couple of hours as this event continues to unfold. We've already seen some of those higher snow amounts in our northern counties and through Baltimore City and County. It's just been kind of a wintry mix. And Ashley and I were talking backstage, if you will, where we're talking about our weather center back there. And we are looking at maybe even bringing some of those snowfall totals down just a bit for the city because a lot of this may not change back over to snow. I believe there's still some cold air, enough cold air out there. I mean, it's 27 at the surface. That's your current temperature. But what's happening in the middle layers of the atmosphere is where we are seeing that snow potentially starting to shut off a little bit. So mid to upper 20s from Cockeysville and Towson down through Baltimore City, 27 in Dundalk, 26 in Brooklyn Park. These temperatures are well below freezing and will stay below freezing throughout most of the day today. We're still tracking some heavy snow and that snow changing back over to ice through the midday. Definitely icy travel conditions, not only later this afternoon, but tomorrow morning. That's going to be the biggest impact, I think, because as we have more of the snow that's going to be around and then the ice with the cold temperatures, that winter storm warning definitely going to be still in effect through early tomorrow morning and winter weather advisories areas to the east. This is all part of that large weather maker that brought a lot of wintry weather through the Central Plains and through Texas as well. And now it's right here in our own backyard in the mid-Atlantic. So you can see our road temperatures, pretty much all of us in the 20s, even some lower 20s where that snow's covering the road there in Westminster and Manchester, up into northern Baltimore and Harford County as well. This is a look at our HD radar. So there's Baltimore City right there, and you go north on 83 just a little bit, as we always talk about, and that changeover happens. So all the areas out toward the Essex area, Middle River, Dundalk, even out to Edgemere, where we're seeing kind of that wintry mix. And we'll continue to see more of these snow showers that will develop over the next couple of hours, even if we get a few breaks here and there. All part of this larger system bringing that precip tip here. Some of the snowfall totals so far. Manchester, the winner, 5 inches already this morning. 3 inches in New Windsor there. About 3/10 of an inch there in Elkton and Columbia, even 2/10 of an inch. These are some of our early snowfall totals that we are seeing. And let's take a look now at meteorologist Ashley Kramlich, who is talking about the snowfall totals we're still expecting. And Ashley, you and I were just talking. We may need to bring some of these down a bit, right?
Yes, so this is our original forecast here. We did verify for the areas in pink 5 to 7 inches with that 5-inch mark in Manchester, but for the area around Baltimore City, we're likely looking at lower amounts. And the reason for this is due to the sleet and the freezing rain mixing in. That's really going to lower our snow totals. And we haven't seen a lot of that sleet and freezing rain here in the city change over quite yet. So that's going to lead to higher ice totals on the roads. Ice is not what we want to see, around 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch for the 95 corridor. Higher amounts for areas south. That does include southern parts of Anne Arundel County. That does include Annapolis. Could see up to 1/4 inch or more of ice. Let's talk about this. Going throughout the rest of your morning hours, this is the updated future scan. Notice that it's showing all blue, although I do expect a little bit more sleet to be mixing in around the 95 corridor. We'll start to see this shut off throughout the afternoon hours. A dry slot will be working its way in. That'll lead to a break in the precipitation, but another wave that is going to be arriving later on tonight. And we're looking at the potential for a light wintry mix throughout the evening and overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. So we could see some more snow and we could see some more ice out of that. Hour by hour forecast for you. We will continue to see this come down through the afternoon. Temperatures in the 30s for today. Tonight, once we get into our 8, 9, 10 o'clock hours, we'll see this pick back up. I think it's going to be lighter than what we're seeing this morning, but we'll still see some more icy conditions and roads not going to be the best shape heading out to your Friday morning. So we're going to be watching this for Thursday and into Friday, and then notice we dry out this weekend. Temperatures are going to be cold, but we're not dealing with any winter weather. We're watching another system that will be rolling in on Monday, and then drier and much warmer as we wrap up next week. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Ashley. You were just talking about the 95 corridor here. There are 6 active collisions along 95 right now because of that ice and sleet. Now, if we can, I want to take you to the smart board. This just happened. We're just seeing crews getting there. Now, this is 695 outer loop. You see it looks like a van on its side there. And this is what we're seeing. 1 or 2 vehicles either on the shoulder or even in the roadways here flipped over because of the sleet and the ice that is continues to form here. So this is going on all over the Baltimore region. So really the driving is very hazardous. Even if you look out your window, you don't see the snowfall right now. The roads not very good in certain particular spots. We're looking at like right now at least a dozen incidents in our Baltimore viewing area. Now we want to send it out to exactly what it's like when you are driving. Traffic jam Jimmy.
Good morning, Tom. I'm out here on the outer loop of the Beltway. I just went over top of Falls Road. Remember, bridges, overpasses, and ramps are going to be slick, and they are. I'll tell you, what a difference down here, though. I just left the PA line a little while ago. It's snowing like heck up there, and as you get to Mount Carmel Road, it lightens up and turns in kind of freezing rain. There was a car in the middle strip right underneath the Mount Carmel Road, slid off the road, hit the wall there, there's a little guardrail in the center. There's a county cop sitting there with her, so be careful coming down. And like you see, that van's rolled over. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. Even the Beltway doesn't look bad here. 83 heading north is in bad shape. You don't even have a good right lane. The left lane's pretty passable, but it's pretty much snow covered and slick, so just avoid it. And I want to know how I can get one of them backstage passes to Ashley and Justin. That sounds pretty exciting there, Tom. I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, Justin was talking about backstage, what they're working on. I know. Yeah, get the VIP pass. All right, thank you, Jimmy. Taking a live look now from the harbor camera, and you see it's just not a very pleasant morning. We'll have some tips on how you can enjoy the snow while still staying safe. Now it's time for a coffee break.
7:56. We are bracing for dangerous driving conditions on this weather alert morning. Look at this right here. This is right on 695, right at 140 Reisterstown Road, exit 20. And you can see this van has tipped over. Traffic still managing to get by very, very slowly in just that one lane. You see the emergency crews, people associated with it, just walking back and forth there. They're trying to get that uprighted and off the road, but that is causing some major delays through that area. But this is one of many accidents that are going on. We are keeping a close eye on the roads throughout our area. A live look at the traffic cameras on the right shows snow coming down throughout the region. And then we've got a live look from our storm tracker in Harford County. We're going to get a live update from there in just a few minutes. Please be safe out there.
And it's sleeting, not snowing, here in Rogers Forge this morning. So coming up in a couple of minutes, I'll explain the reason why.
One meteorologist out there to others here in studio. As the snowfall and the sleet continues to fall around the region, we're keeping you up to the minute. The Weather Authority team of meteorologists tracking your forecast. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Oh, they got out on the road. Good. Let up. She finally made it into the car, so that's at least progress. We're going to check in with her in just a moment. Rachel Aragon driving around Harford County in the Chevy Storm Tracker, keeping us updated on the road conditions there. Also keeping an eye on the roads is Traffic Jam Jimmy. He's been roaming all around the region, showing us what's been happening and the slowdowns as they happen. We've also got a full complement of meteorologists keeping us up to the minute as this winter blast moves through. Amy Aronson live in Rogers Forge using pancakes To explain why some of this mess is falling as snow, some is falling as ice. Ashley Kramlich following when the crossover could occur. But first, we want to get right over to meteorologist Justin Chambers with a look at what is happening now. Justin.
Yeah, good morning, Patrice. Very busy morning. We've been tracking it all morning long for you. Here's our latest HD radar. We'll zoom in a little bit closer here and show you some of that pink and that blue. That's where we're seeing that wintry mix. Just stepped outside a moment ago at TV Hill, and we are seeing some of that, those ice pellets, that grapple that I was talking about earlier. And it's kind of collecting on the ground, but the further north you go, it's definitely all snow. As that changeover happens, we're going to get more of that colder air that's going to be moving in over the next couple of hours. And look, we have a long way to go before this system is done. You can see our future scan continuing to track through the 11 o'clock hour. Finally, by about noon, 1 o'clock, we start to see all of that precip taper off. Updated snowfall total, still 5 to 7 inches in our northwest counties, more of a 1 to 3 inch range throughout Baltimore City and Baltimore County as we go through Friday morning. We'll take you through the rest of this forecast coming up in just a few.
All right, well, let's look at our roadways and the traffic as we continue to follow the incident in Pikesville. It is on 695 Outer Loop right there, just past exit 20. That van overturned. It is blocking the 2 middle lanes, and actually all 3 lanes are closed because you see the emergency crews there and the folks trying to get that uprighted. Traffic Jam Jimmy is on the scene. We're going to check with him in just a few minutes and talk about just how much of a backup this is causing. But this is one of several accidents out on the roads right now. You can see the pavement, so you think you can get through, but that is ice. It is slick. So if you don't have to go out today, really, you should just stay in. Now, this is video that we have from North Baltimore from not too long ago. This was when the sleet was coming down. Let's check in with Elijah Westbrook, who is live downtown. And at this point, Elijah, are you seeing more sleet, more snow? I can't tell what's coming across you there.
It's more sleet coming down, Patrice. That freezing rain feels like ice pellets just being thrown at us. Right now, we're live in Broadway Square here in Fells Point. And take a look at what we're seeing here. It's all white, but this is actually really just a sheet of ice. And I'll give you a quick demonstration of it. I mean, when you just take your shoe or your boot, you can actually see how much has accumulated. I mean, it's pretty thick piece of ice that you can see here that is on the ground. It may look like snow, but again, it's that ice, and we've seen it out on the roadways as I was making my way down here south from North Baltimore. 83 is just a mess. I'm not sure what it looks like right now at this minute, but earlier when I was out there, it was pretty messy, and cars certainly exercising caution. That's what you want to do if you have to leave the house this morning. But we're going to go ahead and send it up north in Baltimore County. That is where meteorologist Amy Aronson is. Amy, how are things looking where you are?
Yeah, still sleeting here, Elijah, and we're back to talking about the pancakes, and I'm going to show you exactly why it's sleeting and not snowing. So if it were snowing out, the atmosphere would stay cold, below 32 degrees from way up in the clouds to all the way down at the surface. That's why this stack is completely blue. But what's happening right now is that the air is starting cold up the clouds, but then it passes through part of the atmosphere that's actually above freezing. It melts, becomes rain, but then it goes back into a layer, the blue, that's below freezing, and it refreezes. And the result is what you're seeing out here in Rogers Forge this morning. So it's an icy situation out here. We see these little sleet pellets falling. You can actually hear them if you listen closely. It's causing issues for people trying to get out. You can see that fella over there has been trying to scrape off his car. I noticed his windshield wiper actually broke because of the sleet and the freezing rain that's coming down here currently. Now we're going to head north and west and check in with Megan. Megan, I know you guys saw snow earlier, seeing some ice. Do I hear that you're in the car right now? Are you going to get breakfast?
Yes. Oh my goodness, Amy, we finally made it. No breakfast. We just wanted to try and make it out to see what people are waking up to. We had high hopes of showing you the 3 hidden sledding hills of Carroll County, and I just don't think it's safe enough to do that here this morning. Let me right now. This is Manchester, and Luke, my photographer, and I, we were just saying to ourselves, kudos to the town of Manchester here who have actually made it out in this. You saw when I was trying to actually shovel my driveway. Every time I shoveled, I turned around and it was covered again. That's kind of like the roads here. At this point, we made it through the neighborhoods. They had been plowed once, and Luke was saying, you know, I think we went a maximum of 10. And Luke, what do you think right now?
It's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great.
Not great, not bad. So somewhere in between. But again, I think we've maxed out at 20 miles per hour as our max speed. We've been hanging around 7 mostly. So this is what it looks like out here. So passable. If you have to go out, but it is slick and it's icy. We're going to try and make it to the sheets down here on Main Street in Manchester. Maybe we can talk to some folks to see how they're doing. But as I look around in some of these houses, it looks like most of the cars are still in the driveway here. So people are staying in and letting this weather pass through before they head back out. We'll send it back to you guys.
And I'm live on a Chevy Storm Tracker this morning and giving you guys a live look at the roads in Harford County and giving, of course, those snow plows to my right the space they deserve. Coming up, what you're going to be seeing if you have to head out later today. Watching Fox 45 Morning News.